When my husband died, my daughter inherited our house and $33 million. Then she kicked me out.
She looked me in the eye and said, "Find somewhere else to die. You're useless now." I thought grief had already broken me, but nothing prepares you for betrayal from your own child, and what she didn't know was that my husband had already seen this coming. I gave that family 43 years of my life. I cooked every meal. I cleaned every corner. I raised my daughter, Victoria, with my own hands, while my husband, Robert, built his empire. I built the home that made it possible. We weren't perfect, but we were a family. At least, I thought we were. Robert died at 71. A sudden heart attack. One moment, he was there. The next, he was gone. My world collapsed, but while I was drowning in grief, Victoria wasn't mourning, she was calculating. She showed up just days later, not with flowers, not with tears, but with her husband, Kevin. And to large suitcases. She didn't hug me, she didn't comfort me, she just looked at me, cold, distant, and said, "Mom, according to Dad's will, I inherited everything. I've been letting you stay here out of kindness," she said. Kindness, 43 years. Reduced to kindness, she gave me 3 hours to pack my entire life into 2 suitcases. She stood at the door, checking her watch as if I was an inconvenience. When I was done, she handed me $200, 200 from 33 million. She dropped me at a cheap motel. $49 a night. The walls were thin, the towels were thinner, and the carpet had seen better decades. She told me to check into a senior facility on Maple Street. Very affordable, she said, like she was recommending a restaurant, but sitting there on that sagging mattress, something didn't feel right. Robert was meticulous, obsessively organized. He had shown me his will years ago, and what she said was not what I remembered. The next morning, I took a bus downtown to his attorney, Harrison Fitzgerald. The moment I walked in, his face changed. "Margaret," he said, "Victoria told me you were traveling, so I wouldn't show up." He pulled out the real will, Robert's signature, notarized, witnessed, and he began to read. The house was mine, 70% of all assets. Mine, $23 million. Mine and Victoria, $10 million. Locked in a trust, but with one condition. If she failed to treat me with respect and dignity after his death, she would lose everything. Every single dollar would come back to me. Harrison looked up and said, "Margaret, your daughter just cost herself $10 million. You're not inheriting 23 million. He said, "You're inheriting 33 million. And the house." My hands trembled, not because of the money, but because Robert had known, he knew what she would do to me, and he made sure I would be protected. Then Harrison said 6 words, "Now we call the police." Everything Victoria had done, the lies, the deception, the manipulation, it wasn't just betrayal anymore, it was fraud. That night, Victoria was at a fancy dinner, laughing, drinking, celebrating, until the police walked in, accounts frozen, assets locked. Her perfect life started crumbling in front of everyone. She thought she had won. She thought I was weak, disposable, but she forgot something. I wasn't just a mother, I was the woman who stood beside a man while he built everything, and in the end, he made sure I would never be left with nothing. And what happened next, what Victoria did when she realized she lost everything, that's a story you won't believe. Subscribe, because the next chapter is where everything gets even crazier.